But what kind of techniques do you normally use as a quantitative trader in crypto space? What statistical
Well,
techniques, what machine learning techniques, and what
yes.
technology you use normally?
Well, because it's the same as other financial assets. The data I have in the from the market, they are the time series data. So
Okay.
in that case, I use a lot of time series analysis models. For example, Arima X,
Yeah.
and some like the some machine learning models. For example, non short term memory,
Okay.
LSTM. Yes,
LSTM. Okay.
yeah, they are this kind of models. They are very useful. And for execution side, I deployed a few algorithms based on reinforcement learning.
Okay.
So when I have the because it's unlike the traditional assets. So for example, for the equity side, if you are talking about trading equity in London, the first thing you popped up for the exchange is the London Stock Exchange.
Right.
However, in the crypto side, we have a lot of exchanges. Binance, Huobi, and OKCoin, and Kraken, and we also have a lot of OTC providers.
Yeah.
They provide the dark pool access.
Yeah.
So that in that case, reinforcement learning is somehow very useful for execution side because if we deploy it with different algorithms, and yeah, it can recognize which venue we call each counterparty venue. So when we have several venues and which venue we can submit the order so that we can have the maximum possibility to be executed.
Okay. But it must be very fast, right? I mean, unlike in traditional quant where you have a lot of time to write your algorithm and to
Mhm.
implement your algorithm. Um, as a quantitative trader, you have very little time to write your algorithm and implement them, right? How do you
Yeah.
handle this?
Oh, for the let's say for the implementation side, for me, I use Python a lot
Okay,
because there are a lot of because I'm working in the buy side,
okay,
so the target for me is to have all the models and the algorithm to be implemented very efficiently and quickly.
okay,
That's the case, and because I'm working in the buy side, I don't think I have a lot of red tapes like the sales side. For the
yeah.
sales side, you if you want to deploy a model, you need to go through something like a model validation team, model governance team, model audit team, finally sign off
So, do you
by
also
all the
have model
stakeholders.
validation team? Do you also have model
We don't
governance
have model
team?
validation. We don't have model validation team.
Right.
So for a small fund like us,
Mhm.
and the thing is basically we have the if we have well, my case is a little bit special. So in my team, at the beginning, we had two quant traders. So we cross-validated our models by, I validated his models and he validates my models. So that's the case. And however, in the middle, he quitted to the research side instead of trading side.
Right.
So I was left just standing alone over there.
Okay.
That's my case. It's very special.
Yeah. What kind of data you use? Is it just the market data, or you also buy some proprietary data? Um, what kind of data we use to build these algorithms?
A lot of different data. For example, or let's say that the market data, it's a very
Right.
traditional one.
Yeah.
And when I do some trading strategies, for example, let's say statistical arbitrage, for
Yeah.
example, the pair trading.
Yeah.
I probably would like to use something like the traditional market data, for example, equity data. Um, you see there are strong correlation between some period. There are strong correlation between the traditional market, equity market, to the crypto market.
Okay.
That's why I use this kind of data, and I also use some macroeconomic data, and because the market now is dominated by the central bank's policy.
Yeah.
So this kind of like a macroeconomic prediction, if I can do it, say for example GDP, unemployment rate, this kind of thing, then if I have the confidence for my prediction, I can do the bet accordingly. That's the thing. And I also, because crypto is kind of like a mixed as the currency and commodity.
Yeah.
As a currency, you all know why it looks like as a currency, and I'm talking about the commodity side because you have the mining side. So for the mining side, basically you have the supply and demand, and the biggest part of the, let's say, of the operational cost of the mining side is the electricity. So basically what they do is they build all the mining site around a hydro dam. Then in that case, they can have the very cheap, say, electricity. And in that case, however, for this kind of hydro dam, we need to consider about the weather effect. So basically, I need to do the research to see the peak time of the water and off-peak time of the water, and to do the prediction if there is a flood in China, because 80% of the computational power is in China. Now it has been shrunk to something like 50% or something, but still that's the case. So I need to buy some alternative data from some kind of like a satellite company in Israel.
Yeah, sounds quite creative, by the way. Unlike traditional quantitative analysis, where you actually know which factors to consider, which data to take. Whereas in your case, it's a lot more exploratory. You can explore whatever you want, right? And it's also quite new, right? Crypto is quite new, relatively new, I would say, especially from a trading point of view. So we have you're literally setting the trend, right? But I would like to know more about your transition from being a data scientist at a very renowned company to working as a quantitative trader in one of the fund, right? In London, right? You're working in London, right? Yes, yes. I would like to know what was the process like? What was the interview?
Well, that's depending on the if the position is a junior position, mid-level, or senior position. So let's say if that's a junior position, because as an interviewer, I interviewed a lot of people, and as an interviewer, I have nothing to ask about your working experience. The only thing I can ask is about your educational, experience. So
do you hire only PhDs? Do you hire only PhD, or you hire anybody that has got good mathematical programming skills?
I think let's say this: if you have a PhD from let's say famous university, you have higher chance to be hired, because as what I said, for junior people, what we can ask, we can only ask we only ask about your academia career. If you have, so that's why if you say how to increase your chance to be hired in the quantitative trading side, I can say regardless you are a PhD or master, or even you are just bachelor degree, do some kind of like an internship in a trading company, in a hedge fund, and
so internship helps a lot, right? Internship
helps a lot. Yes, in a hedge fund or in an investment bank, whatever the payment is, just don't care about it. Just do it, and it's going to decorate your CV and make you stand out from all the CVs. That's the thing. And for the mid-level people, we ask people the questions around their CV, because that's the case. And for some particular things, let's say trading strategy, if they want to say something, then they say something. If they don't want to say something, we don't ask, because the trading strategy is the top secret of every quant trader. We don't ask secrets from people.
There must be some specific. There must be some more generic stuff, right? A more theoretical
that's
stuff.
what. Yes, theoretically, that's why we only ask the theoretical stuff. So, for example, if I see some people has a CV saying K-means, I know K-means in the CV, then the question I would like to ask is, do you know the assumptions of K-means models? and it can filter. For my experience, it can
You
filter
mean
about 90.
K-means clustering, right? You mean K-means
Yes.
clustering model.
Well,
Okay.
yes. What
Or you
are the
must be also
assumptions?
using a lot of time series model, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So what are the assumptions of the k-means? And this kind of question can filter about 90% of the candidates.
Right.
They put the k-means there, but they don't understand it. Understand it. That's a very fundamental of the statistics. And we also
what programming languages you expect the candidate to know?
well, for the junior people, we only expect some very, very basic for the Python stuff and Python, any language, Python R, they are okay because we are using this. These languages. They are just tools for us to do some statistical analysis and to find the pattern. Because there is a twist between the quant and the quant trader. For the quant, you do the model and you calibrate your model with the market data. That's the thing. However, for the quant trader is you see the market data first, you find the pattern, and you use your model to match what the pattern you find. That's kind of like a twist. So for the trading side, data first, then for the quant side, model first. That's the case.
All right. But in the traditional quant, actually, people normally use C++ as well. It's quite famous, especially in big banks.
Yes.
Do you guys also use C++?
It's in banks. We probably don't use. We use Java and with Java and Python. Java is just for API connection and to the exchanges. Because it's very popular for the front end. This kind of thing. However, we can dump this job to the software engineer. For the quant, Python is enough. And SQL, if you know Python, SQL is very easy to pick up because it's simple. I mean, honestly, it's very simple.
Indeed.
And then for the bank, they use C++. The reason, I guess, is they have a long history. For example, let's say Bank of America, they merged, they acquired the Merrill Lynch. So they inherited Merrill Lynch's entire infrastructure. And that's why they use C++ for their pricing side. However, for their algo trading side, they don't use C++. I think now they also have a brand new, Python platform called Quant. So that's the kind of like
they have their own proprietary platform, especially the big investment banks, right, for trading and quantitative research.
UBS is moving to something called Aqua, which is a Python platform, and JP Morgan is doing the same thing. So I guess with the more and more data and the advance of the machine learning stuff, and I think a lot of people they are moving to Python because. It's going to be a faster implementation and a lot of very convenient and let's say proven libraries in the Python.
Yeah, but how about more advanced machine learning stuff, more AI stuff, deep learning, and all that stuff? Do we also use?
Yes, reinforcement learning is considered as a deep learning stuff, and non-short-term memory is considered as deep learning stuff. And I think that's what I touched in my job. And for something else, I think I use the XG booster as well. If you say something like a pure machine learning, pure deep learning stuff for the trading side, I don't think there is any successful example so far. Because I think because of the data itself for the, let's say, financial market data are considered a B2B, very noisy data, and it's very and the competition is very high. So let's say even you find a pattern, this pattern can be filled or can be proven to be useless in very short time.
Okay, got it. You have experience only trading or writing algorithms for crypto, right? Do you also have experience in other types of funds, not necessarily crypto funds, but equity, bonds, and other financial instruments?
As what I say, the crypto is basically the can be considered as a currency and commodity. So I needed to trade in crypto and also in FX market. The reason basically is that in crypto side, everything is calculated in the USDT, USDC. Basically, they are USD with equivalent coins. However, my company is a British company.
Yeah.
Our clients, they deposit the money in the GBP.
Okay.
That's why I have a lot of FX exposure.
Yeah.
I needed to trade in FX market as well because you don't want to go to your client and say, well, we made you some money about 10% in the crypto last month. However, because of the exchange rate, you lost about 20%, and that's a big deal. When you I need to reserve a lot of cash. Let's say my AUM is 16 million GBP. So 30% of the reserve in the cash, that means 5 million GBP. That means a lot of exposure to GBP and the USD exchange rate.
Just going back to your university days, do you think that your education is helping you a lot in your current job, or let me put it that way, how is your education helping you in your current job?
I think basically I think the difference for me before PhD education and after the PhD education is I learned a way to be a self-learner and to find the knowledge. Yeah, to find the knowledge and to solve the problem creatively, and also see a problem from different angles. So before I probably just see something and try to solve something from one angle, and however, after I tried to see things in a different angles and to get the conclusion and to find a solution different from someone else, and and also to understand the knowledge and put the different pieces together and to be the solution. That's the case.
Okay, so if I may conclude that your education has definitely helped you, a PhD has definitely helped you.
Yes.
And what has really helped you is that it has made you capable of learning on your own, right? And be creative.
And be creative and thinking from different ways.
Compulsory, is it compulsory to have PhD in order to be a quant at a fund? Or do you have colleagues who are not PhDs?
I don't have.
No.
I don't
so
have.
All of them are PhDs. So all the quants are PhDs.
In the fund, yes, probably that's the case. And in the bank, yes, I had colleagues. They don't have PhDs. They have master in the mathematics.
Okay, so all of them are masters or PhDs, mathematics or physics or quantitative areas,
right? Or engineering.
Or engineering, more STEM areas.
Yeah.
What are the skills that you can take from being a data scientist at a crypto fund to other kinds of jobs, right? Whether it's in banking or the more traditional quantitative research or traditional data science jobs. Can somebody move from these jobs, the one that you are doing, to other fields? For example, being a quant in an investment banks or being a data scientist at an e-commerce company like Amazon. Is that possible? Do you have the experience people doing that?
Yeah, I know some people jumped from the bank to Google, jumped from bank to Amazon. And I even know some people jumped from the quant side to economist, to be an economist.
Really? Okay.
Yes, and also the reverse way. Okay. I know people, they studied economy and they jumped to the quant world. So it's kind of like that's what I say. The fundamental is very important. So for example, when you touch a model, try to understand the assumptions, model limitation, and how they derive all the tests and all the things.
Okay, but do you have to be a good programmer as well, or if you are really a good mathematician and you are creative, but you are you're not that proficient as a programmer, do you still think he can get a job and do well?
Yeah, I think so. I do think because as long as you are clever people, you can learn things very fast.
Okay.
That's what I say. So basically, let's say mid-level programming is enough.
If someone fresh, someone is a student now doing masters or PhD, what suggestions you would like to give to them if he or she wants to become a data scientist or a quant in a trading firm?
I think the thing is to do an internship. At least you understand your position in the market.
Okay.
Because if when you do an internship, try to apply first. When you try to apply the internship, you
Yeah.
understand. Let's say you applied about 100 companies,
Yeah.
and 10 companies they ask you to the next select you to
Yeah.
the next step. You understand how the competition of the market,
Right.
and you understand what kind of question they are going
Yeah.
to ask you. Even you are not successful in the internship, that's fine. But you understand how the process is, and it can help you a lot for
Yeah.
preparing your next job application.
Yeah.
And also for the technical side, I can say is understand the fundamental of the what you say in your CV.
Yeah.
Because we don't ask you a lot of secret. We don't ask you what your trading strategy is or something like that. We don't want to ask you because
The
we don't
basic
we
stuff,
hate.
right? More
Yeah,
theoretical stuff.
yes.
Okay.
Because we hate people to ask me, that's the case, and so we ask fundamental stuff, and we don't ask you too much about your research or something.
Do we want to recommend
because
some courses, online courses for such people?
If let's say if you are junior people, you definitely would like to expect some kind of like brand teaser questions.
Right. Okay.
The probability questions. Let's say toes the coin or something like a dice, something
Yeah.
throw the dice, something like this. Try, there are do you know the website called the Glassdoor?
Glassdoor, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, try to search a company called the Gen Street.
Okay.
They ask a lot of probability questions.
Okay.
Use the Glassdoor and
Gen
try
Street,
to
right? Gen Street. You just mentioned Gen
yes,
Street, the US-based
yeah,
hedge fund, right?
yes. They
Yeah.
ask a
There are
lot
also
of
other companies like Citadel and Two Sigma and Renisha
yes,
Technology, right? These
yeah.
quant funds.
But this kind of company, Gesture is the only one I found in the Glassdoor. People they publish a lot of the questions they asked, and you can find them. Try to not all of them. Just try to, let's say, when you prepare your interview as a junior people,
Yeah.
try to see the first 30 pages and
Yeah.
make sure you understand most of the questions, and
Okay.
you are good to go.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, wonderful then. And regarding programming and stuff, I think Python, SQL, Java, these programming skills one should have, or Python and SQL.
Yeah, for
particularly.
the buy side, yes, and for the sell side, it's a different story. I think they require Python and probably some kind of like C++, depending on your team. If you are doing something like say EFX, EFI, probably they require some like a C++ because their older library is based on the C++. However, it's not a bigger problem. If you know Python a lot and moving to another language, it's not that headache.
Okay, great. Maybe a few very basic questions, but someone who has never worked and just a fresher, I would like to ask questions, right? Okay, what kind of remuneration money one can expect as a fresher, somebody very fresh to the job market, somebody who has a PhD from Imperial College of London, UCL, or any top university in the UK or in US? What kind of salary he can expect as a quantitative trader?
Well, if that's a very junior people that graduate, and I think for the first year, he or she can expect entry level base salary. I'm just talking about base salary is about 80K plus.
Whoa, 80K plus, 80K plus GBP.
Yes, that's the base salary.
80,000 pounds. That's not bad at all, right?
Yes, and it's higher than just a quant analyst in the bank. In the buy side, it's you can talk about 80K plus, And then the bonus is kind of like 50% of your base salary you can expect. And then, however, the base salary is growing very fast.
Yeah.
Something like after 5 years experience, you are expecting something like at least a double.
Really, like 150K or 160K?
160, yes.
Oh.
And some good quant trader, if you have your very unique skills and very unique trading strategies, I think you are expecting the base salary to be something over 200.
Oh, really? Okay, that's huge, right?
And the bonus is much bigger than your base salary after you have something like a 3 years, 5 years tracking record. It's we are talking about you are managing your book, and we are talking about the profit cut. So if it's an asset management company, we are talking about something between 5% to 8% profit cut.
Or 5 to 10% profit of the P&L, right?
Yes, if that's the asset management. However, if that's a proper trading company, so basically they are trading their own money, not from the external customers. We are thinking about something about 20% of the P&L cut overall, because it's always about the stairs. So, for example, if your return is about 0 to 10%, you have zero P&L cut, or maybe just 1% P&L cut. However, 10 to 20%. Probably you have something like about 20%, 10% cut, and 20 to 50 or something. If you have more than 50, probably you have the P&L cut for more than 50%. So that's that's the kind of case.
Okay,
so
that means the higher the profit the company makes, or your department, your fund makes, the higher percentage of the cut you get.
Not your department, but you. Because you are in charge of your own book. That's the case.
I see. That means if you are managing the portfolio.
Yes, you are managing a portfolio. And every quant trader is managing a portfolio. Junior people is a different story. And the junior people, for your first year, you don't manage the book. You just gradually take over some kind of like a sidekick work. So, for example, do some coding stuff. But however, you can expect something.
And how big is the portfolio normally? What's the size like?
Size, I'm not quite sure about some. I mean, for each fund, it's different. For me, my book growing from 3 million GBP to 16 million GBP. And for now, and now as a portfolio manager, my book is much bigger than the 60 million GBP. That's the case.
Oh, 60 million GBP, you mean? 16 million. Okay. That's not a small number at all, right?
Yeah. So if you make if you make some money, let's say 5 million, and you cut 5%, it's already 250K.
Okay.
It's much higher than your. It's higher, not much higher. It's higher than your base salary.
Yeah, indeed. How about the working hours? Like I've heard that people work long hours in these companies. Is that true?
No, I do say definitely no. For the banks, it's I think a front office quant is working something like from, let's say, 8:30 a.m. to something like 6 p.m. like normal people. And for in a hedge fund, for a quant trader, depending on your market, I think for me, I am for the working day, I am the 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. guy. I am totally against this kind of like non-hour working, because we needed to make a decision, very tough decision, many times in one day. And non-hour is going to make me very tired, and it's going to make me lose money. That's not a good idea for the company, for me. And however, for my case, it's a little bit special because I'm working in a crypto fund. Crypto is trading 24/7. And there is no Christmas Day, no New Year's Day, this kind of thing. So for me, sometimes I probably pop up to work during the weekend, because it's my portfolio. I'm in charge of clients' money. And it's kind of like, when the company hands the portfolio to you, it's kind of like a responsibility for you and for people and for the clients. That's the thing, and also it's building the reputation is quite important because the competition in this business is very high. If
Okay.
let's say if you lose money for 1 quarter,
Right.
probably you have some kind of explanation. For
Right.
second quarter, you could have an explanation. However, the company would like to just kick you out
Yeah.
because
Right.
you're losing money.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
the high reward means high risk.
Exactly. High reward and
That's
high
also
risk. Yes.
yeah, that's also in this business. That's
Yeah.
why I mean
You could make a lot
there
of
is no
money, but you could also be fired at any time. Right.
yeah.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you that's why we are talking about that's why quantitative trader is more popular because quantitative let's say for every trade we have the part of the gambling part.
Right.
It's just a proportion. So for the quantitative trader, we try to use a quantitative technique to limit our proportion of gambling.
Yeah.
That's the case.
Okay, I see. I see. It's a good point. But just I'm curious to know actually if someone who is already having several years of experience as a quant
Mhm.
or a risk management expert or a data scientist working in completely different field. Imagine someone who has 10 years of experience working as a credit risk modeler with a consulting firm or with a retail bank or normal bank, right? Nothing fancy, not an investment bank, not Goldman Sachs, okay? Or somebody just a data scientist at Facebook or at any e-commerce company. Can they also become quant trader? And if yes, at what level? Will they become junior or can they still work as little more senior quant traders?
Let's say this. I think they can because they are clever enough, and that's the case, and they understand probabilities. And the thing is, I think they will set the say salary expectation between the junior and the middle level.
Yeah.
However, they at the beginning they are going to do some sidekick work,
Yeah.
and then they will be given say a book size.
Yeah.
Say from the very small book size to a bigger book size.
Okay.
That's the case.
Okay.
So for because you
So
see,
it's possible,
kind of like
definitely possible, right? So
definitely
people,
possible.
yeah.
No, not definitely possible. I can say very possible because they are clever enough. That's the thing.
Okay. Okay.
We want people to be very clever people. We want clever people in this market and
You want clarity. You want clarity in the candidate that whether he's genuinely interested in this field or not.
Yes, we want clever people and very interested in this business. That's the
Okay.
case.
You want very clever with high IQ people who can understand things quickly, right? And can
Yes.
learn skills very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because all this series, and what I said, if you know all the fundamentals, let's say machine learning, basically all the machine learning stuff, they exist for a very long time,
right.
From the 1990s. Yeah. Or some maybe you can trace it back to 1980s.
Even before that, yes, even before
yeah.
90s.
However, they are all built on the fundamental of statistics.
Indeed,
so
indeed.
think about cost function. What the cost function is basically, what you are doing is you are trying to have the derivative of one function and try to find the minimum. And for the extension, you have the local minimum. Now we want to find the global minimum. You can use some techniques, for example, Bayesian hopping and annealing something. They are all these techniques. They already exist.
Existed in statistics, right?
Yes. However, why the machine learning is very popular now, just because from the 2010 we have our computational power growing very fast. So nowadays, I still remember when I was doing a PhD, I tried to deal with 1.6 gigabytes data. and my computer had or just a 2 GB RAM, which is high at that moment.
Very
But
difficult,
what I
yeah.
needed to do is I needed to split my data and process it block by block. But nowadays, if you give me the data, say about say 10 times size, say 16 GB, what I can do is I just dump all the data into my RAM and process it because I have 64 GB RAM. That's the case.
So the
That's
computational power has
Yeah.
increased manifold in the last decade or so, right?
Yes.
And that is now helping us doing proper good machine learning. Although the techniques used to be there in the past, I think we were unable to do because of lack of computational power.
Yes.
I think, yeah. And also it's not that you have to have computational power in your laptop, right? You can buy computation from the service providers, right? From cloud, right? Cloud service providers like Amazon or Google or Oracle, right? These service providers.